Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, it shows it. So Flutter is just a framework, and the language behind it is called Dart. The language behind the framework is called Dart. And I think now let us go through a little bit of this history. I am not going to do the Majimaji Rebellion, etc. Let me just do bare bones. Huh? So that is a programming language that was designed by a gentleman called Lasbach and Kasper. These guys were working for a laboratory. And the reason as to why they developed this language called Dart is that they were using JavaScript to do their programming. And they cited a lot of problems with JavaScript. Like, let me say, if today you want to do anything for iOS, would you use JavaScript? No. If you wanted to do anything related to embedded systems, would you use JavaScript? If you wanted to do mobile applications, you will need to use a lot of other technologies coupled with JavaScript, right? If you wanted to develop a full-fledged big website, you'll have to use JavaScript and a lot of other technologies. Say, if you're a React guy, you'll need to know something called TypeScript. Huh? You need to know HTML or some other preview language. So there were a lot of problems in JavaScript they cited, which some are true to date. So they decided to develop something that solves and does what JavaScript was doing. It solves the problems of JavaScript and does what JavaScript was doing. So they came up with a language called Dart. Yeah. Now that was way back in about 2004-5. That is when they developed it. I think by then, 2004, I was in no, not primary. I'm an old guy. I was I think I was in my secondary, the first years of my secondary, because I sat 2000, I think, and 7, senior 2006, somewhere there. So these guys developed that language, and truth be told, it was doing a lot good than JavaScript to them. So they decided to push it to the world. They decided to push it to the world. And in 2008, they got a very big backlash from the JavaScript community. You know, imagine you have all your code base in this one language, and somebody is bringing something that will necessitate you to revise all your code base into another language. You get? So there was a very big backlash. They said, why don't you work on JavaScript and make it better? And that is also a very good option. Make sure you upgrade JavaScript to something better, and then you start using that. But these guys thought it was really a way to go. So they made some adjustments to contain the JavaScript community. But Google was like, hey, let's join hands and see what we can do. So in 2009, they joined hands with Google and started doing great stuff. They released something called Probe. Now, Frog is the first framework that came out. What we call Flutter now, before was called Frog. So they started working on it in 2009. Then in 2010, you know, for any programming language, just like the ways are in our native countries, if you're bringing something new for the public, you need to follow the necessary laws of that area. And for programming languages, if you want your programming language to widely be used all over the world, you have to follow some steps. One of them is make it official to the peers. Yeah. So in 2010, that was introduced. Some call it the Goto conference. That was in Aarhus, Denmark. That is why it was held by then. Now, why did they introduce it? You introduce your programming language, and then they form a committee to analyze it. They give you feedback. If there's any negativity, you work on that negativity, and then you follow suit. And in 2000, as you can see, from 2010 to 2013, it was not yet official. First introduced and then released in 2013. That is when they had worked on all the issues that the committee thought had to be worked on. So they released that 1.0. All right. And then in 2014, it was sought to be one of the best programming languages that follows a very good architecture, etc., etc. There are many great things they saw about it. That was in 2014. In 2015, they released that 1.9. By then, we were also, they were also still developing Frog. It was not yet released as a framework, but they were so much working on that as a language. And because of the backlash they had before of the JavaScript community, they decided to first compile that into JavaScript. You get? Which is not the same as of today. Because the time came that compilation to JavaScript and then to native code was eating up some time. Now, since that can be compiled to native code, and it had already grown and surpassed the bad negativity talk of the JavaScript community, they decided to do what it was initially meant to do, which is compile directly to native code. But in 2019, that so happened. And in 2000, I think it was 17, they released, I didn't put it there. They changed Frog to Flutter in 2016. Then in 2017, they released Flutter 1.0. By then, I think I was doing React Native. Yeah, I was working on some application and doing React Native. And I thought there were problems in React. I didn't want to write a lot of code, this language, the other language, and also some other problems. I decided to try out this thing here. I have never written any React code ever since. From 2017 to date. We are in 2020, what? 24. About 7 years. I have never written React again. I use Flutter. Say for some web, I do the React, but When it comes to mobile application systems, now I've even started backend with Flutter, so it's amazing. And in 2000, now this I included because it is a very big add-on that was released with 3.0, and there is something called WebAssembly. The short form is WASM. WebAssembly is you see, before, all the languages that were being used to develop anything for the web were first compiling to JavaScript. You get? And then when the Flutters came on board and they were doing their own compiling to native code, then the community faced some problems. And now, in 2023, last year, Flutter decided to go the road very few programming languages have gone, like Rust, I think, Ruby and Rails also, where now WebAssembly is compiling to native code for the web. You get? So there is no lapse. You don't waste any time. That is when you click, things happen on their own. And this is just in time compiling. As we go on, we shall learn it. So WebAssembly is one of the great improvements for the web. And Flutter now is 100% supported with WebAssembly. And also there's this thing we call null safety. We are sound null safe. When I say null safety, it's like even when you don't have money in your pocket, you really have something. You get? So we can never go into negatives with Flutter. What I mean is we minimize errors by always having something, even if we don't have. Are we together? So if you are working on an application and this individual has decided not to give you their name at that time, you won't have errors on the screen because somebody's name is not there. You get? Flutter will assume there is something that is not yet displayed. But many other programming languages get that problem, where you click and then you're getting errors. Things are freezing because of those simple things. Flutter is doing away with that. Now, when that comes into play, it doesn't matter. Even if you're a beginner, you can write code that other people can use. You know, most times they say experience is it all. Even if you're very bright but a beginner, somebody would say, let me employ another guy with experience than you, a beginner, because of those simple things. So in programming, they are trying to do away with those simple errors that probably novices can do, or even though the experienced guys can forget. You know, you have a lot on your head, you have 4 projects going on, calls are coming in from here and there, you can easily forget some of the things. But at this point, most of that is ironed. There is no better time to come into Flutter than now. I don't think there is a better time. Now that even AI can help you come up with some code, you look into ChatGPT, you look into Bard, this is a very good time to come into programming. You have all the resources on your fingertips. You're not like me, who was, I think I was roughly among the first 10 Ugandans to write Flutter. It was very hard for me. I remember there's a time I had a bug for about 2 months and a half, just one bug. Yeah. Okay. Now, I don't know how I can make this a little bit bigger. Yeah. Oh, now I've already, I don't know. Does it help? Yeah, it does. Yeah, I want to first make it bigger here. Then I put it in slideshow. Right. Cool. Uh-oh. We're supposed to be here. Yeah. I'm missing out this beta thing. Slideshow. Okay. There. What's not happening? The arrow key. I don't know how that is done. Oh, there's something to learn every now and then. Okay, there. But there's stuff I'm missing. Uh-huh. Make it smaller. That. Does it help? Uh-oh. Okay. Let me take it back to, okay. Yeah, yeah. Really? Cool. So this is more or less the roadmap we've had. Now the other was, I showed you something for that. Now this is Flutters. In 2015, we had the initial release that was not yet official. Then in 2018, Flutter 1.0 comes in, but here we had already started using it. Then in 2019, they made it better. How? Okay, sorry. In 2017, we were looking at Android, but there was potential for iOS in test mode. Are you together? Then 2018, full support came for iOS. Then 2019, dev tools. What is dev tools? You know, when you're writing, there are some programming languages. When you're writing code, you only see the errors after some time. You get? Now here with dev tools, you can see the errors in real time. So Flutter helps you rectify your errors as you're going on. It even gives you some options of what to do to do with your error. Yeah, there's a light bulb. When you click on it, it gives you some options. Do this, do that. You can do this, you can do that, and you get away with it, even if you don't know what you have really done. Then there's a lot of things that happen in here, but we only show probably the bigger things. Huh? So Flutter 2.0 came in 21. Yeah, this was, I think, in COVID. This is when web support started and the desktop was in preview. The desktop support was in preview. In February 2022, this was around November, February 2022, Windows was activated, so you could write for Windows. From here, you could write for Android and iOS. Then we come here, you could now write for 3, Android, iOS, and web support. Then here, they became 4. Then 22, around March, April, they became, now they were 4, 5, 6, yeah, Mac OS and Linux. Then in between here, a lot has happened. A lot has happened, and also right after here. Now, in between here, there is what we call embedded systems. How many of us know embedded systems? Have you seen gates that open their own selves with remotes? Some AI where you tell the lights to switch on. Even when you're at work, you tell your things at home, the fridge to switch on, off. Yeah, tell the dog eater to give it food, things of the sort. So that has happened through here. And as of today, Flutter can roughly be used on about 7 platforms. I'm only getting information that I don't know, Flutter is getting more support with the Huawei OS. Because they developed their own, they want to go away from Android, and then now they are giving Flutter its share also in their market. Okay. So after all this, here they bring material support. How many of us are doing graphics? Graphic designers will tell you that material is one of the best displays there has ever been. Even iOS itself borrows a lot of what they do from material. Material is the canvas that Google uses for its displays everywhere across the board. And that is what is already put in Flutter by default. Nothing like you have to use HTML in React or that crap. We don't have that. Here you have Flutter, you have the full package. The display is in there. Now, they shifted to Material 3 in 2023. They shifted to Material 3. I don't know if I should start explaining why and how good it has become. But before, you are using about 9 microseconds to show the display. With Material 3, you have about between 4 to 6, depending on the power of your machine. So this is becoming a lot better. And every pixel can be spanned now. I don't know, it's something we shall later review. So, as of today, Flutter has a lot of characteristics, you can say, or advantages. Hot reloading. How many of us have done JavaScript, or rather Java? When you write in Java, you write your pages, and then later you run them. Then you find there were problems. So now you go back and rectify your problems. Oftentimes, what you are writing even doesn't run because of those problems. Now you have to go back and figure out where your problem is. Are you together? With dev tools, one I showed you. Oh no. Okay. With dev tools, one that came in 2019, the advantages of hot reloading were brought on board. What is hot reloading? Hot reloading. Whenever you put a line of code in your program, What is, let me say you want to acquire the balance. And then you say figure A plus figure B equals that. And then you have to display that, the answer. You just click on save. And then when the code is saved, the program will rerun itself, and then you'll see the figures. So you see what you are working on in real time. You don't have to waste 2 weeks doing something small. 2 seconds, 2 minutes, depends on how fast you are, and everything is done. You see exactly where you're going wrong. You see exactly where you're going right. You get? And there are also other things I've told you. Flutter can also help you rectify those problems. You might not know what to do. It helps you, gives you options. Okay, fast development. Of course, with this hot loading, as I've explained to you, you see what you're doing in real time, and that helps you be fast. And before I used to do React, I used to write TypeScript, you write some HTML, then you write jQuery, and then you do this stuff. Here you write 4 lines of code and you've done all that. So what you would write in 1 day in React, with JavaScript, you have 1 hour to write all that. So you can imagine how fast you can push that application to. Whenever they are asking me, how much time are you giving us? I tell them, guys, I'm giving you 2 months to deliver your big application. Then I give you 1.5 months for you to use and tell me the problems. And then 1 more month, I must be done with it. You get? Yeah, and then you're done with everything. Go to a Java application. This guy, you're going to give this guy about 10 months for a Java application. So this is it's very fast, very fast. We have a screen reader. This is something that is very crucial in the world today. When you hear these colored hair people say trash about their rights, then there are also other people that really need the rights, like people that cannot see. Yeah, it's not their problem that they cannot see, but they need to use the mobile phones. Yeah, so this screen reader helps them know which screen am I on, what do I need, what button have I pressed. You get? They can even ask. You can reply the screen reader. It reads for you and you tell it something. And then it presses the button for you, things of the sort. All that is embedded in Flutter. So when you want your application to be accredited internationally, Flutter has all the capabilities for you to go that far. Quick rendering. We have talked of WASM. We have talked of how Flutter can be compiled to native code in real time. So we have what we call real-time compilation, and also after. We do that too. In Flutter, we do that too. You decide which one you want. But the one that is automatically put there is real-time. But for some projects, you need to delay it a little bit. Like for embedded systems, etc. So you change it when you want. Cross-platform. Cross-platform, we have said Flutter does something for Android. It creates application for Android, creates for iOS, for all desktops, you know, Mac, OS, Windows, Linux. I use Linux. I have some applications for Linux. I've done, I think, 2 for Mac. I've done about more than 5 for Windows. I've done for Chromium OS. I've done Flutter applications for Chromium. We have talked about iOS, Android, then Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Chromium. They are embedded systems, those systems that have different parts connected together, like in Toyota, like in BMW. Tesla is also followed by last year, Tesla was following suit. The displays and also the systems that talk to other parts in the car, they are shifting now to Flutter. So you can imagine in about 2030, each village will need a Flutter developer for its Toyota cars. Yeah. Okay, there's how many OSs? Let's go to the cross-platform. Then it's free and open source. Nobody is going to ask for a coin from you for you to use Flutter. No, it's free. No money. Then there is this very important issue. For most of the cropping startups, they need things that can really be pushed out. And so Firebase is a very good backend for these startups. And Flutter, being a Google technology, has a lot of support with Firebase. So once you use Flutter with Firebase, I bet you having problems. I bet on it. There are a lot of videos out there. There is a lot of support. Ask a question now, and between minutes it will be answered in every sphere of your development. We have groups all over. We have a group for Flutter in Kampala. We have groups everywhere, even up to Slack. Ask your question within minutes, you're answered. Okay, now let us take a look more in the cross-platform. Android, iOS, web, Windows, Linux, Mac OS. Now, there are two things. There is embedded systems. There's Chromium. There's, what is this, guys? This is the embedded system. What is this? This is the backends. So are you writing backends with Python? I used to write them with FastAPI. I've shifted now. I'm doing it with Flutter. You get? I was, the reason as to why I dashed FastAPI is when you get to the DevOps part, I don't like hassling with DevOps. FastAPI was giving me problems with them. When you're pushing it and maintaining it, I used to use DigitalOcean. Maintaining your backend there, to me, it was a little bit tedious. And remember, it is a secondary task because I'm a developer primarily. Now, whenever I'm doing DevOps, I'm doing something secondary. I never used to like it. But Flutter does very good backends that are easily managed. And Flutter has a separate section now called server code. It is what gives us the backend. It is nice. They have just released updates, and tell you what, they are swift. They are very swift. So you could check it out. When you learn Flutter, you could check it out. So these are 9. Now, of course, there are some others that are coming on board, like Harmony OS is also supported with Flutter. It's now in preview, Harmony OS. That is the OS of, I think, Huawei. Yeah. Okay. Now, how many of us have heard of Fuchsia OS? Fuchsia. This has been a work in progress for some years now. Fuchsia OS is the next generation OS, they say. It's developed by Google. It is an OS that will cut across everything. Smart. Hey, by the way, I have not put smartwatches here. Flutter also does for smartwatches. It also does for the TVs, etc. It is the only technology that gives you a very different view for the TV. The only technology. The rest will give you a TV preview of what you get on the laptop, more or less on the web. You get? But Flutter will give you something very different for the TV. It's pretty nice. So those two are not yet here. Now there's this Fuzia OS. This is the next generation OS. They say I've not yet tried it. I've only seen adverts of it here and there, and also oftentimes whenever I come and talk about it, I go back and check. So often I check on it and it's getting a lot of backing from Google. For now, the only technology that we are sure produces applications for Fuzia OS is Flutter. Others might come on board, but as of now, it is the only technology we are sure produces applications for Fuzia OS. And by the way, Flutter itself is being used to build Fuzia OS. Are we together? All right, so there we are. That is the little bit of history. So what does this mean? The advantages of us writing Flutter. These are the advantages that the Kotlin people thought they should also salvage, and they have gone that direction. Kotlin now can also write for iOS, right? It can write for Windows, can it? Not, but it can write nowadays Kotlin multi-platform. It's what is training. Yeah, but what are the advantages of this Flutter? You have a single code base. Yeah, just a single code base for everything. So when I'm writing mobile applications, and I'm also writing web applications, if I'm writing a mobile application for Jumia, and I'm also writing a web application for Jumia, the only thing that is going to change is the display. I tell Flutter, when it comes to the big screen, show this. When it comes to a small screen, show this. But the rest is the same. So even when I'm writing, I use the same code base. The code base where I write the display for the phone is the same code base I write the display for the what? For the screen. You get? And then I compile one for the mobile, and then I push the other for the web. You get? So it's an interesting thing to look out for. Flutter is very fast, guys. The reason as why I never went back to React Native is I was doing things faster in Flutter, and yet I was just new to it. I'd already spent my 3 years in React, and I thought I was good. When I come to Flutter, at the beginning, I was already beating deadlines with Flutter. So I was like, I'm not going back. Zach back, see you later. So there are very many advantages here. If you want to have a very good startup, you want to save money in your startup, Flutter is the way to go. Relatively, Flutter is simpler than all the others. I write Kotlin. I think Flutter is easier than Kotlin. I think Flutter has more support than Kotlin. The reason as to why Kotlin fetches a little bit of a higher price in the market for developers is because I think it's hard. Huh? Yeah, so many guys are coming in for Flutter. Yeah, but as of now, I am not telling you to go away from Kotlin because I don't know where you're going to knock tomorrow for a job. You might knock on a door that needs Kotlin. So you need all those skills. Juggle them. You never know. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, now Fuzia is a cross-platform OS. It is the first of its kind. They are even still developing it. It's now taken, I think, more than 7 years, but you would acknowledge the lateness because they are trying to do everything good for all the screens, etc. Smartwatch, computers, your home TVs, etc. They want QZR to be able to control all that. Flutter is one of the major technologies when you're creating an operating system. There are languages you cannot leave out. C, yeah, C++. There are very many good reasons why. The garbage collection, dealing with big data, such languages are very good. But Flutter also has all those capabilities. Yeah. So the major languages being used, I think there are 4 major languages and Flutter is one of them. Yeah. Used to create that OS. So basically Flutter is handling the display for the OS. Yeah. The logic, a little bit of the decision making. Now the rest, handling data, etc. is those are the languages. C++, C. Yeah.
I see here.
Yeah.
Languages are used to be about C++.
Yeah.
That of course.
You get?
Then they are like coming 35 minutes.
So they are working. Very soon it's coming out. It will be a banger. 35 minutes. We've been here for how long? That shows you the support Flutter has. It's great. It's great. So as he has told you, C++, of course, it's garbage collection. It's next to none. Go, when it comes to handling big data, Go is the way to go. How many of you have used it for the backend? Yeah. Okay. So Flutter comes in with the display and then the decision making. Where do we go? You guess? Yep. All right. So after all this, do you have more questions? Or I should start turning heads up and down now?
Yes, questions.
Yeah.
Flutter in the backend.
Yeah, Flutter in the backend. Yep. You thought it was basically a front end thing.
Yeah, people saying, and being about
yeah. Now, I would, if you've never done backend, I would suggest you start with things like Firebase. Firebase is a serverless backend. Backends are roughly about 2 types. There is one that is hosted on a server. So you have your own server somewhere, or you've paid for a server, like I usually do for my servers. Heroku, yeah. Google Cloud itself, AWS also gives you some of those. DigitalOcean gives you those also. Now, you go and rent a server and put your backend on it. The reason as why we don't do it here in Africa is our power. Anytime. But you could eventually put it on your PC, give your PC internet, and let it run throughout. Yeah. Give it a domain, give it internet. It's a server is not something very complicated. The only thing is it needs to be up 24/7, and we are not sure of our power in Africa. we are also very sure that sometimes in about 5 years, we have some days where internet will not be on. Don't quote me wrong. I'm not speaking ill of anybody. So during those times, and our users, if I have a user in Kenya, he's not in Uganda, he doesn't want to know any shit happening. He needs the server run. You get. And now, because you guys are writing on white papers, you have pushed internet out. Just because even those that need to go to school have the right to take papers. You get. So because of those things, we really don't have servers that are dependable in Africa. That is why we don't use our computers. But my computer, this computer here can be a very good server. You get? As long as I give it a very good fan where it can manage its heating. So for those backends that need you to have a server and you manage it, you need somebody that is called a DevOps guy, who is going to check the traffic, who is going to check if it's up. Now, you develop that. It's you to develop it. Like people that use Python with Django. Have you heard of Django? Yeah. Have you heard of Fast API? Have you heard of Go? Have you heard of Laravel? Now, those are server-side backends that need you to have a server somewhere. There are others like Amazon Web Services, AWS. There's Google has Firebase. Alibaba has, what do they call it? Alibaba has one also. I know Superbase, I know AWS, I know Firebase, and Alibaba Alibaba also is creating something, I think. I am not seeing it here, but they are creating something. Microsoft also has one they call how do they call it? I'm forgetting. Azure. Microsoft has Azure. Flutter, rather, Google has Firebase. Amazon has AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. There is another cheap one called Superbase. I don't know who owns it. Now, these are easier for anybody to use. Why? You don't manage them. Yeah? They are serverless backend. You don't have a server. You don't manage a server. That is what it means. Serverless backend. All you need to do is pay them money for what you put there. You get? And most of this architecture also is not yours. It is theirs. So you must follow their rules. Like when you're searching with Firebase, you cannot search anything that starts with the A. It's not there. You have to search for the full what? For the full name. It is, if it's Mbuga Enoch, you have to search for Mbuga Enoch. If it's Kavali, you have to search for Kavali. But if you do your own backend and you want to search for Kavali, you can also search for Kaba. And then it gives you anything that has Kaba, and then Kavali comes also part of that. So the reason as to why many of us started with, I also started with serverless, and in particular Firebase, because it was easy. You cannot learn front end and back end at the same time. You get? Be good at one, and then revisit the other. So it's not bad to go that way. And by the way, they have free tiers. I have never paid a coin for Firebase. I have never paid. But my applications use it. You get. I don't have those many customers. But my application use it and I get some money from them. So it's a good option to look out for. But as time goes on, you might need to gain some more money. There's a fallacy that data is safe. I think as computer scientists, you know, you're not safe with data. As long as it's out of your head to a smartphone, you're not safe with it. So a time comes where you want to use this data to earn money. And if your data is in Firebase, you're not going to gain a lot from it because it is very hard. They have an architecture that bars you from analyzing that data while it is with them. However, they use it to analyze. You get. So that is why when you start, when you want to dig a little bit deeper, you want to earn more money from clients, you want to earn more money from the data you have as a startup, you think of creating your own backend. Because if you have your own backend, you can now create a data house. You get? Analyze this data, and then as they told you, surfboard, I was using your data. It has always been true. So that is why now you need your own backend at that level. But as of now, use it with Firebase. You're not going to pay nothing. Yeah. And it will kickstart your career on a high because all the technologies you'll be having are A-class technologies. All right. I am looking at where to go first. Now, how do we make it? How many hours do we have to go? 36 minutes. Now, I don't think I'm going to start teaching what operators are. I don't think I need to teach loops. I don't think I need to teach now yeah, if statements. Okay, but let me throw just a little bit of light on that, and then we kind of create our first application here within about 10 minutes, and we're done, right? Okay. Now, this I think might be very crucial. Yep.
Just as coincidence that there's also Flutter have an online background where practice from.
Okay.
I think we can go that.
For the first time, we can for the first time, it becomes boring. Okay. Have you guys heard about this pad? That pad. Hey. That's never gonna work. Okay. So okay. All right. Now, you remember what I told you? That tools. Now here it's saying something. When I do that, Okay. Now, let me make it null safe by doing that. When I tell about that tools, and this is part of them, it tells you what is happening in whatever you're doing. It's telling you that, okay, this variable is not yet used. Yeah. It also gives you the line on line 2, column 10. There, it is not used. So it is an issue, but not an error. Are we together? So it tells you the issues you have, anything that might not seem right, it tells you what it is, and it goes on to explain why is it an issue. It also gives you where it is located. So just assuming I'm finishing up with this page and I've not used this variable, then I'll come back and remove it, because there's no reason as to why my code base is going to be big and yet I'm not using that one line. You get? So string. Okay, let me make it first, and I make this now safe. All right, and now let me bring in an int, and this int is also null safe. All right, so let me say that we want to print. What do you want to print? We want to print, whenever we are printing, printing a string inside there. And that string is name. Okay, my name is what am I doing? No, this is village English. So and so. Doing your course. I don't know if the spelling of course is that. And okay. So now, somewhere here we are going to say that let name equal to I like using my nickname. Oh, what the heck? There are some places you go to and you ask for my real name, you never find me, because people don't know it. You know the nickname. Okay, course, I used to do economics and statistics here. Then I dropped out. Eh? I wanted to pursue this. If I didn't drop out, I wouldn't be here. I dropped out in second year. Then I went to Nkumba University. I still wanted to follow through from here, but you know, this is a government thing. They don't just admit anytime. Kumba, they were like, bring money. Then I paid and I studied computer science. Here I was doing base economics, bachelor's of economics and statistics. Let me put my final year because I'm still in that year. Year 2. Okay, now when you run this, all right, okay, okay. Where is my display? Let me see if it looks different here. I've taken time without using it, so you will bear with me. Okay. I have realized what are we going to do? I don't know. Can you guys open it on your screens? It will show 2 parts. Here it's showing only one. I don't know. I don't know why. Let me see. Flutter dev, sharing guide, GitHub. Why? Now, when I run this, it compiles. It should be giving me answers in the other part. Here, it's not responsive. So for those that have been asking if we don't have an online playground, this is our online playground. That part, it is where we do our trials. But let me ask something. Are you guys just testing out Flutter or you want to do it? Why do you need an online program? No, you have a computer, don't you? In case you don't have a computer, you guys, if you called your dad today and you need an urgent 100,000, will he give it to you? You see, with some reasons attached. The thing is very simple. Next semester, they need all of us to be with our own watch. Next semester is hands-on. If I don't have a machine, I'm going to pay you. As simple as that. That is your reason. If you can call him to give you 100,000 with the reason, and he can really give you the 100,000, then create the reason. The reason is, if I don't have a PC next semester, I am going to pay you. He will ask a lot of questions. Don't they have PCs? Say their PCs are ever online. Our exams are done on our own computers offline. So if I don't have one, I am going to pay you. Even if I go and borrow, I don't have one to do practice. So I'll still pay you. For a computer scientist, it is very malicious to buy your own first computer. For a computer scientist, if your dad is paying tuition, it is very malicious for you to buy your first computer. Because now, if you come, assuming I have a startup tomorrow here in Uganda, you think they are going to give you a pizza? Yeah. If you're connected, you're well off. You might even not need the skills. But if you're a guy that is going to be merited on a job, tell you that to buy a PC politely with a reason. I've given you the reason. Mine bought it. I even don't know where it is. My kids bought it some years back. You guys get serious with this. Now, okay. I'm a football guy. I'm a fan of football. I don't play, but I'm a fan. They used to tell us, like sometime back, I hear who was it? Was it Drogba or whoever it was? I hear he came on a plane for an interview. The coach was not into buying him. So he came on the plane. On boarding off, the coach threw him the ball. And he used his feet, not the hands. From that day, the coach was like, okay, it's okay. You can sign him. Just because of using his what? Now, you were computer scientist who has no computer. What are you computer science? Like seriously. So that part can be used for like what we are doing here. Like what we're doing here, it's okay because we are learning, right? But tomorrow you're going to need a job. If you have no PC, it simply means you cannot go back home and train because that part is not going to give you the skills you need right now. You need to write real applications. You cannot write a very good application with that part, no. There are resources the web is not going to give you. You want to store an image, where are you going to store it? You want to use the camera, where are you going to use it? Fingerprint, how are you going to use fingerprint on the dark part? You get? Yeah, so get a PC, get that PC. Those parents, if me, I wish I was bright at that. I would even have planted eucalyptus with my dad's money. Because all he needs is giving him what? Just give him a reason. All right. What am I doing wrong? I need to be bright when it comes to those things. Now this session is in here. Okay. Don't be like me. They used to give me money and I go for trips. Bali, ginger. Just used to enjoy life. Okay, now. Oh, I didn't give it a function. It's just running for. All right, let me put all of this in a function. And let me call that function. What? Let me call that function void details. I think all of this, for those of you that have started doing something with Flutter, most of what I have here, you already know. Yeah? Why is a function written that way? What the heck? So if I run this, addition, not difference, try removing the details. Okay. C'est un problème. Let me return.
So, but I will declare the function, the declare something like P1 function,
No. You don't need anything of the sort. Okay, function details. And then print. Okay, now what I'm going to do. What is this? And if I press next line, I get this work. Counter flow. Okay. But all right. So let me say the string holds message. The string called message is equal to all of that. I like Xeroxing, guys. I even got some strokes from my geography teacher because of Xeroxing. So whenever you see me copying and I paste, bear with me. Okay. And then let us return the what? The message. Yeah. All right. So when you run this, still having an issue. Why? Because details is not running anywhere. So let's get to here. Yeah. The what? Yeah. You declare function Excel, you then call it. Oh, okay. I've got your answer. It's where we are going just after here. Just after there, it is where we are going. Come on, come on. Print that should not be there, but there. Now, let me first answer this question. No? This is the void main. One we're talking about. Yeah. And now here I'm doing a lot of things. I've created the function there and called it inside there. Now, as we shall see, hopefully I'll be doing sessions, I don't know, depending on what you want. this void main is our default function. It is where magic happens. So if your application does not have main, don't run. Unless you configure it. Yeah, I've seen guys that dig deep into the Flutter code and then start changing things. It's also possible. But now that is when you're a pro at what you're doing. But as of now, if you cannot change the configurations of Flutter itself, then you can stick to this. This is always our first. As you're going to see, even in other Flutter applications, it is the first up there, void main, and then we run the widget, our main widget from inside there. Yeah, then we can keep on adding. So that is our void main to begin with. Okay, this was something that is already there. This is stuff we know, I think. Loops, you've done C. You guys must have done C. So now what are we doing? We have created, let me run this. We have created a function. Hey, why isn't it running? Come on. Script error, what is it? Cancel. Oh, where? That's from here. Oh, it's not there is one. When it's there, everything runs fine. What the heck? Oh, it's finally running. I don't know what the problem is. Okay. Now what we are doing, we created a function that has a return value. It returns this message. Yeah. Are you together? And so we printed what we printed. In actual sense, we are printing what the function returns. You get? It's like when you go to the financial tables, they don't ask you a lot. They say, how much are you worth? You get? So all of this tantamounts to only but a string, and that is what we do. What we print, and that is what is here. I'm Papa doing best in second year. So that is how you play around with our. Of late, they did changes to it. You can even write, I think, applications. You can write applications on here, Control Plus. Yeah, this is more or less code console. Then there is mobile here. But serious code is not written on this side. Yeah. This is probably when you're in the village and you want to check out something. You don't have the PC there. Okay, now let us have about 10 minutes to create our first application and run it. Yeah, and probably do what we have been doing here. Then call it a day. If you have everything set as a Flutter, okay. Now, this is how we create applications. Let me see where I'm at. where tutorials. Let me see the tutorials. No. School, public, music, my picks. First API, doc page configurations. SCCA, no. Okay, let me see the into Flutter projects. Let me see what I got in there. By the way, KCCA is using Flutter applications also. So if you want to be a developer there or for their contractors, you can also learn Flutter. They are already, I think, there's Cloud Connect, there's DMMP already. Now this Cloud Connect with KCC has Android, iOS, desktop, and Linux. The same applies to DMMP. And I think very soon they will shift from Fast API to still Flutter in the backend. So there's a green light. This government is also now using Flutter. You can learn it, no problem, no worries. Okay, let us create our first application. So we write Flutter, create. What is the name of the organization here? SA. Chusa. This is it doesn't rhyme with any language in Uganda. Okay, now when you say create, it's going to do its thing. They give you an already compiled project that you're going to now, all you need to do is your stuff, how you want it to look like, etc. Now this project can run from anywhere. It can run iOS, Windows, desktop, rather Mac OS, Android, web. So now I'm going to demonstrate using the web, right? Now, let me now check if it's really there, dir. It is Chusa, it's already there created. So now I don't need this. Do I need it? No. So I can come and open my, which code is this? Bujiri. This was when I was in Bujiri, also doing the same thing I'm doing here. So let me look for that project. Open folder. Okay. Flutter projects. Chuksa. Open. There we got it. And I trust these guys. Oh, let me explain a little bit what is here. Then I run it and we call it a day. Now, you remember the other good things that I told you about? The hot loading, then the ideas of what to do if you face an error or an issue. All of that is brought to life by the files that are inside this folder, the .dat.tools. Whatever is inside there is what helps us. There's also a simple dashboard inside there, but it only runs when you run your application. So it's just the memory. It's where the DAT tools get the problems, etc. what you're running. Then idea. I think all of us know what idea is it? What is it? What is idea? Huh? For developing? Yeah. Now, actually, Android Studio is idea. Idea is how many of you have heard of PyCharm? Huh? It's also idea. Idea is an IDE, integrated development environment. So these IDEs can be configured to run different programming languages. So idea itself is an IDE. When you configure it to run Android, then you have Android what? Studio. When you configure it to run Python, then it becomes PyCharm. You get? There is also, you can configure it for Rust. I don't know how they call it. So there are many. The idea is basically, I don't think it's the company, I think that produces those ones. Those integrated development environment. So this has the configuration, this folder has the configurations. Yeah. Because remember, whenever that you cannot create for Android or iOS or I don't know what iOS, you also need to I think except iOS, the rest you need to install Android Studio. You get? Now Android Studio helps in, you see where I was, the other side. When I was creating it here, yeah? What was actually being done in the background is Android Studio was helping to create that project. Are we together? So that is how we come to have this folder. It has the configurations that come in from Android Studio. When I run it here, there is some part of Android Studio that will be running. Though I don't want to open Android Studio because it's huge, it's heavy. That is why I use VS Code. But even if it's not open, whenever I run Flutter here, there is some part of Android Studio that is running in the background. And all of that is because of this folder here, idea. So this folder helps out with those configurations, right? Now, this is where you'll have Android configurations. Remember, we said you can create applications for many platforms, but these platforms have their own configuration, their rules. Just like your family might not be, I don't know what weird thing I can say. At my home, I don't like green pepper, so I don't eat it. I don't want to smell it. So everybody at my place knows. Yeah, they don't bring what? Green pepper. You get? At your place, it might be the order of the day that if there's no green pepper, you're not cooking. You get? So the same thing happens. Android has different configurations to iOS. And they're different to Linux. They're also different to macOS. They're different to the web, Windows. You get? So what they have done is they give you folders where you can put these configurations for the specific operating systems. So this is the folder where you'll have a lot to do with configurations for Android. Usually they are not big things. They are just 1 or 2 lines. Let me give you like an example. Like if you come here and you come to right here and you come there, then you come there. Now, you can do some configurations here. This is Android manifest. I'm not going to explain file by file, but I'll show you how some things are done. Let me go to Oh, I'm not sharing my screen no more. Expect to share. Now, programming is not like they display it or they portray it in the movies, where guys doing this, no. Our real life thing is there is something you don't know, you go to the web, get it, put in your code, go. You get? So we are more or less assemblers. We assemble. So just what do you think you can need on your phone? A service, camera, Bluetooth, you get? Assuming you want enable. Okay. Flutter, enable. Let me say camera, okay. Camera. Okay, now we go straight to Stack Overflow, where most of these things are. Okay, okay, Now I think these permissions. This is for internet. So by the way, whenever you're developing, when it's in developer mode, it can access internet without this permission. But once you release it and you don't have that permission, you'll be using an application and it cannot access internet, and you're asking yourself, what is the problem? So such things, for iOS, it's different. For Android, this is how it's supposed to be. And there's contacts. If you want to read contacts, you want to go through somebody's contacts. If you want your application to be able to read somebody's contacts, yeah, you have to put those permissions there. Now, accounts, write to the storage, read from the storage, read media images, write media video. So these, have you seen on your phones where they tell you these applications need these permissions? Now, this is how it comes about. Whenever you put this in your application, then it requires the user to accept it. If they don't accept it, that service won't be running, won't be working in the application. If they accept it, it does. But usually our users just accept, they even don't know what they accept. Before you know, you can access everything on their phones. And you store that data, you get money from it. Yeah. I am not telling you to be rudimentary to these guys, your users. So now you pick this. Let me even go on and just browse where to put Android permissions in Flutter. They're already bringing manifest, but let us just search for it, and then you see add permissions to your manifest.xml file. These are debug main. So they even give you examples of how to do it, and you can also find it in Stack Overflow. Any weird question you can think about now. I mean, it's very rare that you're going to, yes, sometimes it's true. It happens where you think about, you have this error and it's the first of the kind. But you can still come on Stack Overflow, post that question there. Before you know, somebody has answered it. Oftentimes, what we are looking for is already out there. You just need to go and browse and find it, just like this. Assuming you didn't know where to put them. Now somebody has already told you where to put them. You see, manifest, these are schemas. So before the application, it is where you should put them. Okay, let us Okay. You see, it's manifest. As you can see, it is the one here. Yeah. So all that comes in just before application. That is where you put all the permissions you want just before the application. However many they can be, you put all those permissions there. Should we use access? Well, the permissions are many. They are very, very many. If you read here, there are very, very many permissions. There is one for location. There is one, just know any secondary service offered by the phone. Anything that is hardware, yeah? GPS, Bluetooth, internet, anything that is not logic of the application might need permissions. Yeah. Okay. So now let us take just one permission for the internet. Yeah, I need just 5 to 10. Okay. Example, but still we are not going to use them. We are not going to use them. So let me just get the internet permission here. Flutter internet permission. Wow. Let me see. Yeah, it's that one. Just this. Use the permission unravel copy, and we bring it right there. Usually I want to put it on the same line with this application. So even if you have 20 of them, put them down here. If you need contacts, if you want to write contacts to the phone, just like WhatsApp does. If you want to look for the GPS of this individual, if you want to listen in silently to the GPS of this guy, for them, they just accept everything. And before you know, you can access all their data. You get? Put all the permissions there. Then somehow you might need to configure a few things also inside there. These dependencies, whenever you're going to release this application, you need to change this, because now this is in development mode. You need to config.release. You need to change those. At some point, somehow, you might need to change versions in there. A little bit of tricks here or there. Then if you want to change the icon of your application, you want it not to be this, you go and create your own, and then you put it there. There is already a platform where you can create them from. So you only need the picture of what it looks like. Put it in the other platform, it creates them. And then you come and drop them here. You remove this and then drop yours here. You get as easy. Things are not hard, guys. They're not hard. They're very easy. So now the same, just like it is in Unravel, tweaking configurations here and there, permissions, etc. The same applies to iOS, Linux, macOS, web, and Windows. A few things. You even don't need to store them in the head. If you're not that bright, go and look for them. Today, you cannot be a programmer today without internet. That's a fallacy. Every programmer today needs internet. Yeah? Go and search for them, put them there. Up to now, I know how it looks. When I look at the permission, I can know it's this one. But I cannot write it. But when I look at it, I can say, okay, there is an error here. But I cannot start come and typing it. It's not in my head. So This is where we shall change a lot of stuff. You remember our main? It's always the first. Now, when you remove it, this shows it's the first. You see this? Run debug profile. If you remove, it is the only check. Void main is the only function or keyword or anything in Flutter that has non-highlighted texts before it. These, you cannot highlight them. They are there. You can click them. You cannot do anything else with them. They are not there by your doing. They are there by default. When you remove these, they also go away. Now that ceases to be a Flutter application. Without void main, it ceases to be. It's something you're creating, something new. Probably you're coming up with your own framework. Yeah. So when you bring them back, then it appears. That is our primary function. You must always have it in our Flutter application. Now, what do? We run our Flutter, our first class or our first widget from inside there. We run our applications from inside the main. So now whatever is inside application is running from what? From main. You get? So basically, this is it. Let me run, I want to use Chrome. Let me just run this. And we call it a day. So for machines that are more powerful than mine, this depends on the power of your machine. If your machine is too powerful, this will already be done. But mine is lacking here and there. I now want to buy an M2. You know that thing when you collect money and you want to buy a 2017 car, then before you go to the bond, they bring 2018. You're like, oh, wow, let me add on this one. Now I don't know if I get my 8 million to get the Mark II. I don't know if they will have brought the M3. I don't know. I was just going to buy, and then I saw comparisons, and then M2 was far better than M1. I was like, let me first stop up. So our application is running right here. Let me bring it to the public and make it smaller. This is the web, but let me make it look like a phone application, right? So to begin with, this is how a Flutter application looks like. Let me get it. So you can click this. Now you make it look like what you want. Did we give it a try? I think it's like 5. Okay, now now this is only addition, right? Let me put some subtraction somewhere here. Is it okay? So first and foremost, let us be able to see it right here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create a row. Yeah. Okay, and let me give this row. What I'm going to write might seem alien. Please accept it for now. Main axis alignment. Main axis, come on, do the thing. axis, as I told you, it helps you space evenly. All right, I think that is okay. Then I'm going to duplicate this. I told you I like xeroxing. Bear with me. Xeroxing is what I like most. My geography teacher gave me some strokes. When they told us to go and draw a map of British Columbia, I went to my atlas, put the paper there, and the light below it. Then I traced the thing. Ha! The guy told me, draw it again here. I couldn't. What is it called? Is it called remove? Yeah, that's my answer. And then we name it decrement. Decrement, is it the spelling? And then we are going to change this. Remember, this is the function. Now, this function is not yet there. We need to go and create it. So we go up here where there is the other function. This is the increment function. So we go there and we create the decrement function. So it's going to be a void. And the name is that decrement. It is a function. So, and now what does it do? It sets the what? It sets the state. And what does it do in setting the state? It gets this counter. Now counter is the figure. If you guys have done operators, you know what plus plus means. Now minus minus is the opposite of what? Plus plus, isn't it? Now we are done with whatever we're doing. Now, if we save this, you see, I have saved, it has reloaded. Now let us see what we got. Now we have 2. When I see, then when you press. So this is how easy Flutter is. Within a second, we are done. If it was just adding bank balance, you're done with that. Then you're going to something else. You get it? So this is how easy Flutter is. You're very welcome to join the board, the bandwagon. I don't know, is it the ride or the bandwagon? It depends on your judgment. But I'm dedicated to helping everybody who wants to learn, because I don't think I have more than 10 years in development, or at least hard code. So, as you know, our field is all about helping each other. Somebody helped me to get to where I am. That is why I can spare my time and come here and do something. Yeah. Don't be afraid. Nobody is going to ask you for money. For Flutter developers, if you want to learn. Yeah. Though there are some things that are huge. You want me to write like 5 pages of your application. Yeah. Get a bug there, tell me, I have the problem here, can you help? Then I can advise, I can also write hard code. As long as it's just helping, not doing your job. Are we together? When it comes to learning, there's a team of dedicated Flutter devs that I know that are willing to help. I am going to be giving you, I'm going to share contacts with him. There's a guy called Brooke, there's a guy called Nicholas, there's a guy called Simon. There are other guys that are willing to help, not just me. At some point, I might be busy and you guys need to go. My absence here does not bar you from going forward. Huh? Assuming I'm dead, you should also continue. So these guys will also be chipping in a hand whenever you need to. We have a group. I don't know if I've shared this. We have a group. 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 We have of Flutter developers in Kampala. This group is accredited by Google. It's the only accredited Flutter group in Uganda. That one, www.meetup.com Flutter Kampala. When you go there, you'll see the group. You can join that group. You can join that group. By the way, there is a session on Saturday. That group has a session on Saturday. Yeah, you can join in also and learn what they have for you. I understand they are giddy. Who knows what a giddy is? Giddy. Now we have some two Flutter giddies that might attend. A giddy is a Google developer expert. So this guy is an expert in something. Like Flutter guy is going to come and is an expert in Flutter. You get? And he will preach to you the gospel of Flutter. You might understand more than you've understood with me. And it's also good to get the contacts of people there, because that is how you grow your roots in the industry. Colleagues, when there is a hunt for a job and there is a vacancy somewhere, somebody will tell you if they know about it. So join these guys. These ones you might not, but these guys you need to join them. Yeah, here this one is dormant as of now. I'm not putting content there. I've roughly been off the radar, been a little bit busy. Then this is my Git also. I don't think there's a lot there. Most of what is there recently is private. And there's also that on Twitter. Yeah, you never know. You might reach me up there. You can call and I'm not picking. Send a WhatsApp and I'm picking. Twitter thing here sometimes is for us. Okay, guys. I think the Baganda have a saying that even the best dancer does what? I don't know what dances in particular they were talking about, but I'm very sure that they live. So I think it's high time for me to leave this floor also. Unless somebody has a question to give me here for a few minutes. No question? Okay, thanks for coming around. See you anytime you wish to pursue more with Flutter. Thank you.
I would also like to say thank you so much, Mr. Enoch, for having honored our invitation to come and at least have a session with us. So it has been a good one. Also get a clue about Flutter. Yeah, for those who are starting, and I know there are others who are already doing Flutter. That is good. So I would like to thank you so much for that.